Welcome back to another episode of Riv Academy. What's up, fans? What's up now? I've been slacking. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't been. Been a little busy, but today I needed to make an episode because Woj bomb, something crazy just happened today. So let's dive into it. We're not even going to play with the shenanigans or have these little games. Class is in session. Let's talk about it right now. Pick a side is doing an emergency pod. Yes, I'm speaking in third person for them. But we are doing an emergency pod later, so you'll probably hear my answer twice. But let's talk about it. Kyrie Irving has been traded today, and not to the Suns, not to the Lakers, where we all thought he would go. No, the Dallas Mavericks. I have the trade right here. So the Mavericks receive Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris, and the Nets receive Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a 2029 first round pick, a 2027 second round pick, and a 2029 second round pick. That's kind of crazy. I mean, we're in 2023. That's kind of wild that those picks are from a long time ago. And if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers is definitely offering the 2027 first round pick, but they didn't want to fully commit to Kyrie Irving. And I understand that he is a bit of a wild card. But like I said, don't pick a side. He's a grown ass man. He can do whatever you want. But he is a bit of a wild card. So it is hard to commit to him. But Dallas took a chance. I mean, I think Luka came out. They came out. Dallas came out of a report like 2-3 weeks ago that Luka has came to him and he asked for more help, and they made a move to get him help. I mean, this may not be a long-term thing, but this is a short-term thing. Dallas is the top 5 seed. Kyrie Irving is one of the best players in the NBA, a lead scorer, prolific scorer, a guy who can get you a bucket at any moment on any defense. And bringing that next to a guy like Luka is interesting. Now, I don't know how I feel about the trade. I mean, obviously, a player like Kyrie Irving's stature, you would expect more, but there's so much more to trading. Pardon me, my eye, itchy. There's so much more to trading than just a player's ability. What's their availability? What do they bring to the team? Leadership, locker room presence, their market value. How high are they in the market? Their age, of course. Sales. What do they do outside of basketball? So there's so much. It's so much bigger than your actual skill on the court, and people don't understand that basketball is bigger than just the on-court things. It's a business, and Kyrie Irving has stated he did not want to be in he didn't want to be in Brooklyn, excuse me, and the Nets made a move. They made a move to get him out of there. Now I'm gonna speak on both sides of the fence. I think for Dallas, A+ move. I think you had to bring in somebody to see what it's like to have Luka with a running mate, and who better to bring than arguably one of the best running mates in our era. I'm 24 years old, so Kyrie Irving's one of the best Robins in the NBA in our era. He's a guy that can give you 27 and 28 on elite efficiency in the playoffs. He can break down any defense. He's not coming off a great showing. Now, that Boston series was a struggle, but playing in the West, it's a bit of a wild card in the West. I mean, Denver has clearly asserted themselves as the best team in the West, but those 4 to 12 seeds is just a wild card. Anybody can get in. But for Dallas, you do lose Dorian Finney-Smith, and I think him being your POA defender, your wing defender, that's huge. Being a three-point shooter, he hasn't had the best season this year, but just him being an all-around defender, I thought that was huge. And then you lose Spencer Dinwiddie, who I think is a solid player for them. He's statistically one of the worst defenders in the league this year, but still can provide that spark for you offensively. But you bring in somebody in Kyrie Irving who in spurts can give you a solid, good defender. He can give you that elite scoring, somebody that can take the ball out of Luka's hand. He may not be able to create for others, but he can create for himself, and that's something that Dallas and Luka immensely needed to go over the top. And now this is a team that can be extremely dangerous, and they came out with a report saying that they're not done. They're not done making moves, and I think that's huge. That's something that they definitely want to figure out, because if you can bring in somebody else and continue to build on this roster, maybe Kyrie does end up staying. Maybe he decides, well, no, I got arguably the best player in the world in Luka Doncic. He's 22, 23 years old. I mean, I think that's going to be crazy. If we don't know what his peak is going to be. Why not stay in Dallas? Nice weather, Texas. I've never been to Dallas. I don't know. But this is a great move for Dallas. Speaking on the Nets side, it sucks, man. I mean, you had a great team. You fired Steve Nash. Jacque Vaughn has installed the culture in this team. He's instilled discipline in this team. They made a turnaround. They're one of the best teams in the East. Kevin Durant unfortunately goes down, but this team they're still floating. And you have a most improved player of the year candidate, in my opinion, and defensive player of the year candidate in Nick Claxton. You got Seth, you got Joe, you got Royce O'Neal, you got TJ Warren, and then you have leading the charge Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. How can I forget? You got Yuta Watanabe. You got Cam Thomas, who just had 40, so he can give you something if you give him minutes. You got Jock Vaughn. I think this was a team that can definitely compete in the East. They could make a run to the finals. And it was just really interesting how all this shit happened like a week, So I think this is really interesting. You couldn't really, I mean, I'm interested in seeing how this plays out because I remember last year in the playoffs, you double team KD and Kyrie, or you forced them to one-on-one matchups. The other guys did not help, and you watched with Dinwiddie and Finney-Smith. You watched them with Luka. They are more just floor spacers. This team isn't bad. I'm not gonna sit here and say they can't make the playoffs. I think they can still make the playoffs. I think Kevin Durant can still get them to the playoffs, but I'm just interested to see how it all looks. I don't know. I don't think this is a championship team anymore. When you lose a star and you plug in two role players, sometimes it could manage, but not this type of management, I don't think. And I think, Dorian Finney-Smith, he's bring that 3-and-D energy, but they still have a Ben Simmons problem. And then Kyrie was kind of one of those guys that can kind of hinder that problem because he can give you that elite scoring. But this is going to be interesting. I don't want to give a definitive definition. I want to wait on it because I think it could work. I think they could maybe give a team fits, but I don't know if I can definitively say this is a championship team anymore. I mean, this is a huge, huge loss. This isn't a regular player. As much shit as I give him, Kyrie Irving's one of the 15 best players in the world. So this isn't a regular player. You're bringing in two role players that, frankly, aren't going to cut it. And I think in the East, you got the Bucks, you got Boston, you got the Cavs. Now, because I'm pretty confident everybody had the Nets ahead of the Cavs. Now you lost Kyrie Irving. How confident are you that the Nets can beat the Cavs in a 7-game series? Can Kevin Durant? And then Kevin Durant has all the ability in the world. But I'm gonna talk about the Cavs next. But in another video, I'm gonna give them their own private video because they deserve that. But it's gonna be interesting. Actually, no, I am not. I'm gonna talk about it in this video because I think I need to talk about it. I need to get it off my chest. But this move is definitely interesting. And for the Nets, where do they go from here? Do they move Kevin Durant? Do they keep Kevin Durant? He signed to a 3-4 year deal, so he's locked in. But now what does he do? He was also, reports came out, he was shocked by the move. So what do they do? I mean, this has just been a roller coaster of a ride for the Nets. And now we can put the Nets comfortably in a failure and a disappointment starting with this era. I mean, the Clippers are up next if they don't figure it out and at least get to the finals this year. But this is just, this happened so quick, so fast, and it's really interesting to see how things playing out. I mean, the Nets they had one of their best starts with Jock Vaughn. I mean, they were like 18-4, 20-4, something like that. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but they were elite. And then Kyrie just, you hate to see it, man. I mean, I wish nothing but the best for Kyrie. I'm glad to see Dallas has now a running mate, so this is going to be extremely, extremely interesting. But shifting to another team, because I am going to talk about them, because I think this needs to be said, because I think this is interesting. Let's dive in a little bit. Let's do a little bit of dive in. I got Mr. Laptop Rev. Let's look at the Cleveland Cavaliers, because I think this is interesting. You have a team in the Cavaliers, right? A big Cavs guy. Not like a big Cavs guy, but big Darius Garland, big Evan Mobley, big Donovan Mitchell guy, and big Isaac Okoro guy. So yes, by default, big Cav guy. Don't care what you guys say. Yes, I am a bandwagon. Let's look at this team. Let's look at the age. I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm 2 years old. I'm 2 years younger than Donovan Mitchell. I'm 24. I'm 2 years younger than Donovan Mitchell. Isaac Okoro is 3 years younger than me. So he's 21. Evan Mobley's 21. This is crazy. This is crazy. Isaac Okoro is actually 22. So then you got Jared Allen. He's my age. He's 24. Darius Garland. He's 22. Oh, he's actually 23 now. He just turned 22 in January. Him and Okoro have the same birthday. Wow. Bro, happy birthday to them. Oh man, this is. I think this is interesting because the timeline is so perfect, and Cleveland couldn't have perfected it so well. Getting Donovan Mitchell was so perfect for their timeline because they're all in the same age group. And not to mention, they all can learn and grow from each other. They're all pretty much locked in. I mean, they're gonna lock up Mobley. I'm not even worried. I know there's a lot of contract. Excuse me. There's a lot of contract controversy, but they are gonna lock up Mobley. I guarantee it. So you got Mobley. Garland's locked up. You got Jared Allen, who's pretty much comfortable. He's locked up. You got Donovan Mitchell. It's so perfect. And, people, and I love Evan Mobley. He's arguably the best defender in the league. I mean, he's arguably the most versatile defender in the league. I mean, I have been in one, but Mobley's fucking good. I mean, his ability to switch in spaces, his ability to recover with his length, his speed, his quickness with his feet, defensively at the rim, the way he can protect the rim, his pick and roll defense. I mean, he's just damn near a perfect defender for a big. And then not to mention his soft touch around the rim. I mean, offensively, he can get better. He has the mid-range in his game, so he can definitely get better. And then you shift over to Donovan Mitchell. I mean, just a bona fide scorer that's come to Cleveland. I said it before. Donovan Mitchell was never a bad defender. He showed that he could be a good defender as early as in Utah. The scoring just went up. But if he goes to Cleveland, he will get back to playing defense. And I've told people this. And now he's been really good on defense this year. Now you shift over. He's also a playmaker. So now you shift over to Jared Allen, who's an elite rim protector that can still get better. But I think the most important piece of this puzzle is none other than the man, the myth, Darius Garland. And I say this because I asked this question on Twitter the other day. And I said, Trae Young has the volume. He has the statistics. He has the ECF run. He has the All-NBAs. But in a vacuum, who's a better player, Trae Young or Darius Garland? Now, I ask that because you watch Darius Garland play basketball, and it's beautiful. I mean, I used to have arguments about who has better handle, Darius Garland and Kyrie Irving, because it's like his ability to go right to left so fast, his ability to get to the rack, his maneuver inside the three-point line, between the three-point line and the paint, it's just so beautiful the way he just can get to the rim, his ability to create space, his shot creation is just magnificent. And then his playmaking, his ability to create for others. I mean, he is a point guard that has almost no flaw offensively. He has the floater, he has the mid-range, he has the three-point line, he has the creation, he has it off the dribble, he has it off the bounce. He can break your defender down no matter the defender. He has the handles. He has the quick jerky moves. I mean, his bag of tricks, his boxes is ridiculous. And then defensively, he's not a liability like Trae Young. So now I ask people because people forgot his eye was damn near missing in the beginning of the year. He was dealing with a couple injuries, but now he's been back and I said it on Twitter out there, he's figured out the dynamic between him and Donovan Mitchell. This is why I say he's the most important part and the most important piece to the puzzle with the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not Evan Mobley, because I think Evan Mobley is going to be what he's going to be. And defensively, even if he's not offensively, defensively, he's going to be elite. It's not Donovan Mitchell, because you know what he's going to do. Prime time, what is he, a top 15 playoff scorer, statistically averaging? He's elite in the playoffs. No, it is Darius Garland, because he is the connector. He is the Draymond Green for the Golden State Warriors. He is the James Harden for the Philadelphia Sixers. He is the Chris Paul for the Houston Rockets teams. He is the Chris Paul for the Phoenix team. He is the connector. And I'm not comparing game style, play styles. I'm comparing that part where that one guy on offense that brings it all together, that makes sure everybody gets involved. Not to mention, he's a guy that can score at will if he wanted to, and he's healthy now. This Cleveland Cavaliers team is dangerous. And when I mean dangerous, I just don't mean this year. I mean they're going to be dangerous for a long time. Long time. Because they are young, They are gritty, and Isaac Okoro is figuring it out. And I told y'all, we're gonna win on that one. I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ugh, but I told y'all. But Darius Garland has figured out the game, and he is a perfect point guard. He may not have the numbers, but if you watch Darius Garland play from game 1 to game 80, you watch him play from minute 1 to minute 48, he is so cerebral in his approach to the game. He's so like he's just so perfect and methodical in his approach to the game of basketball, and the way he breaks down the defense, it's just so beautiful to see. I mean, this guy is incredible. And Cleveland may not win the championship this year. They may not get to the ECF. They fuck around, might not get to the second round, depending on who they play. They can get a 6 seed and play a top team and lose. But next year, I mean, the year after, and I'm gonna say this: there is a world when they can now, with Brooklyn losing Kyrie, there's a world where the Cleveland Cavaliers can make the Eastern Conference Finals. There is definitely a world because I think they can beat Philly. I don't think they can beat the Celtics. I don't think they can beat the Bucks. I think they can beat Philly though. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do beat Philly. But they are the fourth best team. They can beat the Heat comfortably. They can beat the Knicks comfortably. When I mean comfortably, I mean it'll be a tough series. But I will pick them to win the series, so people don't get me confused on what I'm saying. And then everybody else, Atlanta, the Bulls, Washington, stomp out. They will stomp those teams out. There is a world where the Cleveland Cavaliers can make the Eastern Conference Finals. Not the finals. I don't think they can beat the Bucks or the Celtics. But there's the world they can make the Eastern Conference Finals. And if they do that, that is going to put so much confidence in these young guys that are already talented as fuck. And then next year, and then the year after that, I'm telling you, watch out for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because they're coming. They're here. And it's gonna get scary and spooky the longer it is. I mean, they need to make a move for another wing that can defend and hit threes, but they are coming. That's gonna do it today for Riv Academy. I mean, class was great today. I don't know about you guys. Thank you for everybody who stayed for this episode. I had to do an emergency pod. This episode will be out tomorrow. Thank you for watching and have a great day.